If you absolutely love digging into the mechanics of how a business completely reinvents itself from the ground up, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we are setting the stage to unpack a massive business transformation, the evolution of Raymond Reality. We are going to look directly at the source data, dive into the management notes, and see how this company is fundamentally shifting its operational model and really totally changing the trajectory of its future. All right, let's just dive right into it. To really understand what's going on here, we have to start by asking what is the real growth story? Because honestly, if you look at the wider market, most investors are still looking at this company through an incredibly narrow lens. They look at Raymond Reality and they just see a single parcel real estate player operating out of Thane. But as we are about to see from the numbers, that narrative it is totally outdated. This contrast perfectly captures the massive paradigm shift that's driving the stock's recent re-rating. Think about the old story. Relying on one large 100-acre land bank in Thane, which naturally puts a pretty hard ceiling on growth. Contrast that with the new reality management is actively building. A high growth developer spanning the entire Mumbai metropolitan region or MMR, relying heavily on an asset light joint development agreement model. This massive gap between the outdated market perception and their actual on the ground reality is the core of everything we are breaking down today. Here is our quick roadmap for today. First, redefining Raymond reality. Second, the asset light JDA model. Third, massive revenue growth drivers. Fourth, the hidden market risk. And fifth, key metrics to track. Section 1, Redefining Raymond Reality. So, we really need to look at how the physical footprint of this company has totally changed. The absolute defining feature of this new era is aggressive geographic expansion. They are breaking way beyond Thane with new projects springing up in some really highly desirable areas, places like Bandra, BKC, Sion, Wadala, Mahim, and Kandivali. Plus, they are taking on multiple redevelopment projects across these zones. This rapid spread across the Mumbai metropolitan region, that's the primary catalyst catching institutional investors' eyes right now. They aren't just sitting on their legacy land anymore. They're actively out there hunting for growth in some of India's most fiercely competitive real estate markets. Section 2, the asset light JDA model. Okay, so how exactly are they funding this massive expansion without tying up huge chunks of cash? Well, the secret sauce here is the JDA or Joint Development Agreement. Let's just break down the jargon step by step. In step 1, Raymond signs a JDA instead of outright buying ridiculously expensive city land. In step 2, the original landowner contributes the land to the partnership. And finally, in step 3, Raymond brings its brand and expertise to the table to develop and sell the properties. And then they split the proceeds. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that this dramatically lowers Raymond's upfront capital requirements, and that in turn significantly boosts their potential return on equity. I mean, this is exactly what institutions love to see, growth that doesn't demand crippling capital outlays. And they aren't just paying lip service to this model, they are executing it incredibly fast. Management actually set a target to balance their portfolio, aiming for a 50-50 mix between those legacy Thane land developments and these new JDA projects. But here is the wild part. They hit that 50-50 mix a full year ahead of schedule. That is a massive operational shift executed with just surprising speed. In section 3, massive revenue growth drivers. So what does this whole strategy actually mean for the bottom line? I want to drop a massive number on you, 139%. Management reported that quarterly bookings are up 139% year over year. And if you follow real estate, you know bookings are the ultimate leading indicator for future revenue. If you have got strong bookings growth today, it means your revenue and profits are practically baked into the cake for the next few years as those projects get completed and handed over to buyers. Just to illustrate the sheer scale of what they are building here, let's look at their total gross development value or GDV pipeline. The Thane Land Bank portion still holds a real substantial 25,000 crore rupee in revenue potential. But the JDA portfolio, which is made up of 7 projects, is already adding another 17,000 crore to that. That brings the total GDV to roughly 42,000 crore rupee. Think about that for a second. A company that is currently generating around 3,000 crore rupee in revenue today is sitting on a 42,000 crore development pipeline, and that's just wild. And that momentum is keeping up right now. In Q4 alone, successful recent launches in places like Sion, Wadala, District 9, Park Street have contributed a combined gross development value of 6,400 crore rupees. Management actually noted that the response in Sion has been exceptionally strong, and with Mahim launches expected pretty soon, they are definitely proving they can successfully enter and actually sell in these new highly competitive micro markets. But hey, it's not just top line growth, it's profitable growth. If we track the EBITDA margin trend, we are seeing margins expanding from roughly 16% back in FY26 all the way up to around 21% in Q4. So, why is this happening? Well, in real estate, newly launched projects initially show lower margins simply because of upfront marketing and setup cost. But as construction actually progresses and they hit milestones, project profitability shoots up significantly. Plus, management is guiding for better margins in FY28 than FY27, which basically tells us that earnings are likely going to grow even faster than the revenue. Now, fast growth in real estate usually comes with a pretty dark side, and that's debt. But the data shows Raymond is keeping really tight leash here. Net debt is strictly controlled at just 656 crore rupees, maintaining a remarkably safe debt to equity ratio of just 0.6x. The company even set an internal ceiling to never exceed 1x debt to equity. So, unlike a lot of those over leveraged developers who tend to fly a little too close to the sun, Raymond is funding this explosive MMR expansion with a remarkably strong and disciplined balance sheet. Section 4, the hidden market risk. All right, reality check. No investment thesis is bulletproof, and we absolutely have to look objectively at the downside risk. Tucked away in the optimism, management quietly made a really important admission. They stated pretty plainly that quote, theme growth is mature, competition in the Thane market is intense, and Raymond's pricing power there is limited. This is a crucial piece of the puzzle that honestly some investors might be completely glossing over. To put a hard number on it, management indicates that Thane's sales are likely capped at somewhere around 1,300 to 1,500 crores annually. Because of this hard ceiling on their legacy land, the entire future growth narrative absolutely relies on the flawless execution of their new JDA projects in Bandra, Sion, Vadala, and Mahim. If their JDA execution slows down even a little bit, or if they struggle to sell in those new markets, well, the whole high growth MMR narrative weakens pretty significantly. Section 5, key metrics to track. So, how do we actually watch this play out in real time? If you are following this space, here is your exact scorecard. The three matrices you need to check every single quarter to validate the ongoing thesis. Number one, and definitely the most important, pre sales growth. This absolutely must stay about 20% to justify a growth premium. Number two, new GDV added through JDS. Are they successfully signing new partners to keep feeding that pipeline? And number three, EBITDA margin trends. Are those margins holding steady or expanding as the projects mature? If these three numbers stay strong, the transformation is working. And that brings us to the ultimate question the market is trying to answer right now. Will investors continue to value Raymond Realty as a stagnant, single land bank story, or will they fully recognize them as a high growth asset light MMR developer? The data we have covered today makes a really strong case for the later, but as always, execution over the next few quarters is gonna be the final judge. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes on those quarterly metrics and never stop seeking that clear, structured understanding. Catch you next time.